Alrighty, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session. So we've seen a bit of reversal. Obviously, there's a move that's developing in crude oil. There's speculation of an Iranian nuclear deal, and so crude has slipped on that, and that's obviously reversed a lot of the Canadian pair. So we got to take that into consideration with everything that's happening today. I'm so irritated at my dollar Norway. I'm so upset. But I did, I actually added back my dollar Canadian just to let you guys know. Really quick, let me see. Hold on 1 second, please. Sorry, guys, I keep forgetting to do this. So I'm, it's just like kind of a new pattern for me. Can you guys see? Oh, no, you can't. All right. How about this? All right. Can you guys see? Can you see me? Can you see me now? See me now? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Everything good? Okay. All right. And don't laugh. You like my Forex Live shirt? I know. It's old. I mean, this shirt is like, it's almost gray. It's an old shirt. I've had it for years. Greg Michalowski gave me one years ago, but it's comfortable. Okay. Anyway. Yes, I'm not wearing a ForexAnalytix shirt, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, let's talk about the moves here. So yeah, I bought back the dollar Canadian, and this is going to be really important today because I picked it up a little bit lower than where it's at right now. I bought it in the high 50s, but if we close back above like 120.90, 121 level by the end of the day, I am going to be getting long more dollar Canadian because this fits right into that that article that I wrote wherever it was here back about the long-term dollar Canadian move. And I wasn't completely convinced that we were going to be reversing. We might get close to 120 and bounce. And ironically, look at the news that accompanied that. I mean, that is the type of stuff that actually reverses the market for good. Not necessarily crude, like crude's never going up again, but I do think that if there is an Iranian deal, crude will have peaked. And that may be the catalyst that actually, forges a low in the dollar Canadian. It's interesting how it works out that way. I didn't, obviously I wasn't thinking that was going to be the reasoning, but it is something that is obviously developing. So let's just keep that in mind, moving into the next couple of days. That also could be a reversal for the US dollar Norwegian krona. I'm actually almost convinced myself that I'll just have more exposure in the dollar Canadian versus spreading it out with Norway. Although I do think that the US dollar Norwegian krona, if it does break, back above 835, I have to play it as a wedge again. But anyway, as I mentioned to you guys this morning, and especially if you didn't hear this morning on the Face webinar, I had a great week last week. Actually, the last 2 weeks were really good. And then, first couple of days this week, I gave back a lot of my gains. And so now I'm just kind of like, I knew it was going to be a tricky week to start, but anyway. Jason says, Blake, does it not concern you to hold dollar pair moving into FOMC minutes tomorrow? Seems like their intention was to destroy the dollar with every release. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's talk a little bit about that. So what's the What's the most dovish thing that can happen tomorrow? Are they gonna go beyond expectations to be more dovish than the Fed governor was? Jane, it's not a rate decision. It's not it's a minutes. It's 2 weeks. What happened 2 weeks ago? It's the meeting minutes. You get to read the meeting minutes. And so I have to ask again. Is the market expecting anything but doves? Anything to sound hawkish whatsoever? No. They heard it from the Fed governor. The Fed governor was a dove beyond all doves, or the Fed chair. He basically told us they're not even thinking about talking about tapering. You can't be more dovish than that. You just can't. How are you going to be more dovish than that? So what's the risk? The risk is that some of the regional Fed governors are actually hawkish and they start to bend his ear a little bit more. And, the Fed governor, he is the Fed chair. Sorry for my dog, if you can hear my dog. He's the Fed chair. He's like, it's his word. But if Fed governors are actually starting to be more hawkish than had anticipated, that's a problem, because he could change his tune, especially as inflation goes higher, or let's just say things start to improve. So I think the risk is actually maybe a couple of the regional Fed governors are a little bit more hawkish than people thought. People are already expecting doves galore, like as doves fly, that's what people are expecting. So yeah, Gavin's is not even thinking about thinking. Right. So no one's expecting any type of dovish surprise. So that is actually the risk then. So to answer your question is, no, what are they going to punish the dollar even more? They could, but I'm not really worried about a dovish surprise. That doesn't bother. But anyway, I hope that made sense. Jason said that's a good point. Yeah, so I'm not really worried about, especially if I can get in a decent position. Like if you talk the dollar Canadian, let's say you get long here, and let's say by tomorrow, we're trading back towards 122. That's a good place to be, right? Because let's say you're long dollar Canadian, and then your average is somewhere around where my highlighted box is. And let's say by tomorrow it's up here. Well, you move your stop to break even, and then you give it a shot. You put yourself in a position. You put yourself in a position to be surprised. But you also put yourself in a position to get yourself, if you get stopped out, it's like no harm, no foul, right? That's always my intention ahead of key news events, is put myself in a position to Sorry, I got to do something. That's a great video, isn't it? It's a good training video. That's been like my focus. If you guys haven't figured it out, for those of you that are like in my chat, in our chat rooms, and you realize that like, oh, he's not in there as much. That's because I'm really like filming stuff and putting together ideas, and I'm doing things to expand our community, try to expand our community. And I will tell you right now, for those of you that don't know, hold on. We have some really exciting news here in the next, by July 1st of this year. So in the next month and a half, we will complete our project that we're moving forward on, and it's going to be really beneficial to you guys. It's all about adding value to you. So what is happening between now and July 1st is really exciting to me for you guys. And it has nothing to do with videos, just so you know. And also so you know, I know I mentioned this, but we're rewriting our mobile app because the technology is, you know, it's older technology. It's great. It's super stable, and it gives. Hold on. Woohoo! I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Whew. You did not need to hear that. I just. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you, Tony. But the mobile app is being rewritten. That'll be done by September, and it'll have all these new features that we're adding on top of the stuff that we already have now. So that's cool. But what's happening between now and July 1st has nothing to do with videos. It has everything to do with enhancing your experience as a ForexAnalytix subscriber, especially if you're in the chat room. But that's not just it. There's going to be a lot of things added to that we're adding to the platform. Thanks, Malia. I appreciate it. We're adding to the platform itself. A lot of good information. So. Okay. Got it. All right. So what else do I want to talk about? You guys probably saw that I took a little bit of a short on silver. I'm not expecting a lot out of it, but I do think, and I personally moved my stops to break even, but I do think that that we have a risk of moving back down to 27 and maybe even further. So I have my take profit at 26.80 at this trend line. But if we get here kind of quick, like between today and tomorrow, let's say we get down to 26 or 27, like quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to expand that target further. I'm going to look for a move out of this could be an ascending wedge. So I'll move it back towards the 200-day moving average. It could, percentage wise, it could end up being a pretty damn good trade if the dollar plays ball. But it's hard betting on the dollar. I mean, it's like every time you bet, you buy a little dollars, like look, dollar Canadian slipping right back again. It's like, fortunately I bought some dollar Mexican peso at 1976, 19.764. Fortunately I bought some dollar Mexican peso again today, but it's like, it's hard. It's a hard trade, especially when stocks are just buoyant as all get out. Anyway, so we'll see. I'm not getting too terribly excited right now. What I will get excited about is if the dollar Canadian closes above or near 121. But you can see crude oil is already bouncing back. Stocks are stable, holding up. Aussie's bouncing back, Kiwi's bouncing back. So I'm not terribly excited about anything at the moment. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a great day. I'm still being kind of cautious because I just want to be a little careful. I just want to be a little careful. Especially when you're trading counter trend, I don't want to be too overexposed. As you can see, it's like things can turn on you really quick. You could be short risk, and stocks, S&P's back at 4,200, lickety split, and you're like, great. So with that being said, thank you all for your continued support. I hope you're excited about the things we have upcoming in the next few months, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning on the Face webinar or in the chat room. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.